Everyone talks about tech careers. You hear the keywords, coding, AI, bootcamp. But the thing that nobody's really talking about, and it's actually the most important and it's running the business, is the data. In this video, we're going to talk about a few points why I think that you should jump into tech with SQL. Okay, so my point number one is that you should understand what the problem is that the company is trying to solve. Sometimes companies would hire people to solve a problem, and you can figure out that problem either by reading the job description, but if that's not written out or displayed in the job description, you'd figure that out in the interview. And this is why you should ask smart questions. You ask them exactly in a way where they tell you what they're trying to solve or what are they hiring for. This is the point where you can bring in your past experiences that reflect what problem they're trying to solve, and then you can position yourself in answering or saying how you solved that problem for that previous company. And that would make you stick out so that you can be the person that they hire in that position. Point number two, businesses pay you to protect their profit. So businesses don't just hire you to write code or to build things. They want you to help them protect their profit, help them solve any problems they might not be seeing. For example, let's say Starbucks. They are bringing out a seasonal drink and they want to understand what's selling because obviously there's money driven behind making these drinks. So a data analyst or an operational analyst, whatever job title that they use for this role, this person would figure out and display to them what's selling in what regions and what doesn't. And they could make a decision from that point whether they want to continue this drink into the yearly menu or they want to discontinue. So an example of this is, let's say you're working at Starbucks and you are creating a dashboard that presents sales data for certain drinks in certain regions out of different times of the year. Now, a business decision, a stakeholder, they can look at this dashboard and decide, okay, this pink Frappuccino is outselling all the other Frappuccinos. Well, I'm going to keep this on the menu, and there's costs behind every product that they make. So if it's costing them little or if it's making them profits, they can make any decisions that they want. But this is all based off the data. And the person who presents this information is the data analyst or the analyst, and you would use SQL for this. So the biggest value here is you're spotting what's making the company money. You're also presenting what's wasting them money, what is not making their profits, and you can present that to the stakeholders and help them make that decision. And point number three, businesses use SQL to validate and verify information. Now, you'd be surprised how different departments in a company may get data different. Let's say you're working at Spotify and the marketing team has their data or their reports showing that their conversions from a free user to a paid user is 12%. But the finance team, they have a dashboard that says their conversion is 9%. Now, these are two very big different numbers, and maybe one department, they did not update their dashboard or their setup on the back end for whatever reason. Or somebody who knows SQL would be able to look through the data, fix the numbers, and they become very valuable at that point because they're able to show that, hey, this data is wrong. Reason why? Because A, B, and C. The store procedure was not updated for this dashboard to show the right data, or maybe some data pipeline issues that they would be able to correct. Now, if you're the one who works in this company and is able to fix this problem, you become very, very valuable. And this is why I suggest SQL to be a good introduction into tech, because this is very important for every single company. So let's bring it all together. Companies use SQL to solve real world problems. And whenever they present these problems in the interview or in the job description, you can understand the problem and basically position yourself to get hired. Companies use SQL to also protect their profits. And we've talked about different ways of why companies want to hire somebody with this skill so that they can be able to understand what's selling and what's not selling. And lastly, companies, they use SQL so that they can validate or get the correct information. Getting their numbers right so that they can have the correct reports. And somebody who can make sure that the numbers and everything is correct, that person is very valuable to them. And we teach all of these skills and scenarios in LearnFi. So if you want to be able to be job ready in about 8 weeks and be able to have these skills so that you can be hired and be the next person who gets that 6-figure salary working for a good established company, click the link in the bio and you can go join our course. So let's get ready and start working.